We've been waiting so long, the season's finally here. Soak it up and cheer, cause T-Wolves Talk is here. No need to fear, the wait is now gone. So farewell so long, cause T-Wolves Talk is on.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Timberwolves Talk podcast. It is a very happy, it's Thursday today, even though the game was played on Tuesday night.
It is Thursday. Took a while to recover. It was a late game.
Very happy 2 days, though. I can tell you that right now. The vibes are high with us. Obviously, the vibes were high with the team.
Wow, yeah.
Expressed after the game. We'll get into that in a little bit and the national outrage, it seems, from that. But first impressions of the game, awesome. Like, it kind of was. We were going toe to toe in the first half. Like, the building was great, the energy was high, but third quarter there, man, it was actually the third quarter was fine too. It was more so late into the fourth. We got down by 10 real quick after Paul George started hitting some shots there. He turned into playoff P. But at that, because funny enough, I was at the game. Peyton and I were supposed to go. We bought tickets like weeks in advance, and Peyton had to go work a job at the Saints game, and luckily the Saints game got rained out. And what was your play after that?
So it got rained out, and I was already looking at the forecast, hoping maybe it would have got canceled from the start, so I could just go right away to the game and see the whole game. And then as the game was getting canceled, I heard people say they're going to try to play 5 innings so that it can count as a full game. So yeah, I saw that. Went on Timberwolves ticket website, and they had a few single tickets for, I think they were like $39. So pretty expensive. It's like 52 with the fees and whatever. But so I just bought one, showed up at halftime, and went up and sat by Chris, and it was awesome. I'm so happy I went. It was just one of those things where it didn't really make sense economically to go to that game, gas, parking, all that, but it was so worth it.
That fourth quarter experience alone, I feel like it's just.
And we were we were literally the highest seats in the Target Center because they have a tarp there that covers up the back 20 rows, and we literally pulled the tarp back so we could stand up there together. And yeah, it was electric.
Yeah, it was great. We had a lot of space to run around and do some fist
bumps. I didn't sit down once. I don't think we had the celebrations going. It was amazing. I've never been part of a collective group that is so invested in something. And I don't know, it just felt amazing, especially coming off these COVID years.
Especially, coming off, even though we were favored by 1.5 or 2.5, I don't know what the line was right before the game. Everyone was picking the Clippers. You look at the national media, you look at all the
look at the Timberwolves guys.
Picks. Yeah, you look at Dane Moore picked against us. I know Locked On Wolves picked against us too. Those are the 2 biggest Timberwolves podcasts out there. They picked against us, but hey, Peyton and I think I was actually really close to the final score. I said 113, 107. I think you were a little higher in the 120s, but that was a grind of a game. Kind of getting into it a little bit.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get right into the game.
A lot of swings, a lot of runs in the second half. First half, it was kind of just back and forth trading threes. It seemed like everyone's 3-ball was dropping. The Clippers were doing what the Clippers do. They were frustrating the hell out of Karl-Anthony Towns, and it was extremely visible. Everyone knows Cat had a bad game. That was probably the worst game of Cat's career and one of the biggest postseason collapses I've ever seen from the start. And it's not going to look good on Cat. That's what everyone was worried about. Can he perform at the highest level? He did not. He got increasingly frustrated at the referees, tried to force the game a little too much. He wasn't playing within the system. He was forcing everything, trying to do it all by himself. And that's how 4 first half fouls occur, is when you try to do everything by yourself.
Yeah. But despite that, the fact that the Timberwolves still pulled away with the win without their superstar was very impressive. But going back to Cat, man, it's tough. He's never really been in this situation in his whole career. He never really has been in that situation where he's the guy. I mean, I guess you could say in the Jimmy Butler era, he was still technically the guy, but I'm going to say Jimmy Butler was the guy back then. And he didn't show up. He didn't, but we still got the win. So at that point, I mean, you can't really be mad. Now he's got 4 more games to prove that, hey, I really can produce in the playoffs. And I hope he shows out. But if I'm any team that the Timberwolves are going to have to play here, I'm doing the same exact thing that the Clippers did, because that works.
Yeah, I mean, like we all know, like if you guys listen to any Timberwolves podcasts, preview, they're gonna tell you what the Clippers were gonna do. It's what they've done all season. They put Batum on Cat, and then they bring Zubac in, who's guarding Vanderbilt, to double him in the paint, and it works every time. Cat gets flustered, Vando can't shoot the 3, so like it works, and Cat turns the ball over a lot, forces a lot of bad shots. Now, I will say the Grizzlies don't really have the correct personnel to do that with Cat, because Jaren Jackson is a good enough defender to just guard Cat one-on-one. Steven Adams isn't as good as Zubac on, rim protection. So I think that's why you see, I mean, Cat's numbers against the Clippers were not great, and Cat's numbers against the Grizzlies this season were really great. They're 27.5 points, really good shooting. We'll talk about the Grizzlies preview in a little bit too, but it's a great matchup. Like we said, this is why this game was so valuable to us, especially is, we didn't want to play the Suns. No one wants to play the Suns. Cat 3 of 11, bad game, fouled out in the 4th. It is what it is. We're not going to hammer him too much. He knows, everyone knows. But let's get to the really good parts of the game for me. It was bad. 8 minutes left. Cat fouls out. We're down by 10.
Yeah, it was over, man. I remember leaning over to you and saying, "Was that the nail in the coffin? Is that it?" If they,
I got to give some credit to Cat, because he did participate in some of the 16-2 runs. So I'll give him some credit.
Yeah, no, that's what hurt even more is right when he got back in the game. I think he scored 6 straight points effortlessly, like great post moves. He started to figure out how to pass out and just use your height at the bottom of the hoop to score. But he got fouled out. One more thing. They had a really great play that I wish they would have just done the whole game is Vanderbilt was running the baseline, and when his guy went over to double, he just kind of ducked right under the hoop and just had a wide open dunk. And it was like a great play. I'm like, why are they not doing that more often? That looked so easy.
And I think they were trying to get Vanderbilt running that baseline, but Cat, I feel like, had a lot of tunnel vision the first couple quarters. Like there was multiple times too where Jaden McDaniels was like open on the back.
Yeah, dude.
Cat didn't see him.
Yep.
But we'll get off Cat.
We're done, Cat. We're done.
The impressive part for me was D'Angelo Russell's poise throughout every single, like you can argue the first quarter, but I thought he was a good playmaker the first quarter, if I'm being completely honest. Second through 4th, though, D'Angelo Russell looked unstoppable. Like it looked like they did not even game plan for him. He hit some of the biggest floaters, some of the biggest and ones, and the biggest 3 of the season to give us that 96-95 lead.
That was insane.
The building was shaking. That was the loudest it was. Maybe the ant dunk.
No, the ant dunk was louder, but yeah, still.
That D'Lo 3, Peyton and I both looked at each other. We're like, no,
because we couldn't even see from where we're sitting. We couldn't see if it went in or not. Like the angle was just off. I didn't know.
What we kept saying during the game was like, chip away. Like we're down by 10. We were just chipping away by good, solid possessions, 2-point layups, and D'Lo takes the 3, and we like blacked out. It was incredible to see his leadership. I just thought he handled the pressure extremely well. He was never too high, never too low, like you said in the post game. He was, to all accounts, by the reporters by the bench, he was like, hey, like we're fine. Like everyone's got to stop freaking out, stop tossing up bad shots, and that's
the leadership you need, man. Yeah, look at that.
D'Lo's been through a playoff series, man. D'Lo's been through a big playoff series. They almost knocked off the Sixers, who were predicted to be finals contenders at that time. So I mean, he's got the experience. A lot of big shots. Anthony Edwards, I mean, kind of speaks for himself. Big step back 3s, and I think what was really apparent that game was Ant was mixing it up. Like he was the Ant we needed to see, not just the ISO 3-point shooter. He was the one that rim first, 3-point second.
Yeah, I loved what I saw to Anthony Edwards. I mean, I tweeted this earlier, like, and we talked about this last podcast. If he's going to be that great player that we think he's going to be, that he thinks he's going to be, he's going to have to start performing in these big games, and that's exactly what he did. I mean, that's his first playoff game or play-in game ever, and he played phenomenally.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome to watch. I mean,
Malik
the,
had a few great
Malik,
shots.
yeah, a few big threes from Malik too. I thought Naz Reid is the unsung hero. No one's talking about Naz Reid. Stepped in beautifully for Cat, knocked down those threes.
Yep.
So he could start getting inside. And he did what we wanted Cat to do. He said, "Oh, you have a 6'6" wing on me. Oh, I'm just gonna back you down. I'm bigger than you." And he got to the rim. He was a plus 16, highest on the team that game. If it weren't for Naz Reid filling in for Cat so admirably and looking like he should be there, it wouldn't have been close, I don't think.
Yeah, and
Naz Reid, a lot of praise.
Naz Reid was great. That 3-pointer he had was huge because that's right when we started chipping away. He hit that three. A question I had was why, if we're not going to play Monroe in that situation, I don't even know what the point of having him on the team is. But I guess if Naz Reid would have also gotten in foul trouble, then he would have been necessary. But I would have liked to see him go in there. And I don't know.
My big thing is I think it's a safety blanket because I don't think they trust Nate Knight in the playoffs at the moment. And you've had to see Knight come in some moments in the regular season to fill in for Naz and Cat foul trouble. So I get the Greg Monroe signing there, but it would have been cool to see like
just throw him in there.
Bang some bodies. Yeah, just pick up some fouls. That's free fouls, free
especially this is when I wanted him in there is when Cat was playing with 5 fouls is he couldn't play defense. So they would just get the ball to Zubac and he would just back Cat down and Cat couldn't do anything because he didn't want to get his foul. So I'm saying why not throw Monroe in there, have him guard Zubac and then put Cat on Batum. Like that's just what I was thinking. But obviously what we did worked. So
yeah, no, you got to give Finch credit. He didn't change up the game plan too
phenomenal.
much. He stuck with what he knew and like he got the guy. He got you rallied the guys to win. It's another beautiful mark on a Chris Finch coaching display.
Another shout out I want to give Jaden McDaniels was playing amazing defense on Paul George. He got a little foul trouble, which kind of ruined it. But for a few possessions there in the fourth quarter, it was some of the best one-on-one defense I've ever seen in person. And he got scored on a few times too. That's the thing about like one-on-one defense is against a player like Paul George is sometimes you're going to get scored on. Like there's a certain point of players where they can score on anyone no matter what. But what he was doing, picking him up full court, pestering him the whole way up the court, I think that was great.
Great wing defense too. I mean, when Paul George puts his back to you and the team trusts you on an island one-on-one and you play perfect defense, sometimes that ball is just going to go in. And I think he did really well, especially after re-injuring his ankle, it looked like.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he was amazing. Like I'm telling you, I just watched episode 5 of The Last Dance last night, and they were showing Scottie Pippen when he started guarding Magic Johnson, and that's what that shit looked like. That's how it literally looked exactly the same. If you watch highlights of Scottie Pippen picking up Magic Johnson full court, that's what Jaden McDaniels looked like against Paul George. It was great.
Shout out to Vando too. I know a lot of people were like mad that Vando was playing so much, and I thought Vando was guarding Paul George most of the game. And that first half, Paul George really struggled because Vando was on him most of the first half. Like you see the last few defensive possessions too, Vando was on him, forced Paul George some really tough threes. So, I mean, Vando did his job in my opinion. I get that a lot of people wanted to see Taurean Prince start just for the fact that they wouldn't be able to double Cat. Then they'd have to worry about that 3-pointer. But obviously Taurean was out. I still think they would have started Vando even if he was healthy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's earned it, man.
Asset. He's earned an asset. Provided great rebounding too. I mean, we out rebounded the Clippers by 10, 49-39. That's what won us the game. If you look at all the stats, the Clippers shot better. I think they assisted better. They had less turnover. It was something else. And like all the stats pointed towards them, but then you look at the rebounding differential and it was ginormous.
Which is weird because we're usually not a good rebounding team. That's something we struggled with.
The only big offensive rebound they got, I noticed, was like the one where Malik didn't box out, but Batum missed a contested 3. And I mean, it didn't kill us at the end of the day, but that's huge, not giving second chances. One more guy to talk about, I guess. And it's, Pat Bev brought the energy. Might not have had the stat sheet, but man, he got into their heads. Everyone was saying Pat Bev's not gonna be able to get into their head, dude. He got into Reggie Jackson's head bad. I think Reggie collapsed in the fourth
and
quarter.
Morris too,
man. Like Pat Bev ripped Reggie to win the game. I mean, it was literally if the Clippers would have hit a 3 there, it would have been a 3-point game, but no, ripped him, got the steal, and
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta slip it.
I don't know how I feel about how like the only person they're talking about in like the mainstream media is Pat Bev when like D'Lo
D'Lo and
again,
Ant.
the quiet superstar. Do I like no one is talking about his amazing performance. Ant, I mean,
True.
a few people are talking about him, but everyone's talking about Pat Bev and Cat. That's literally all. But whatever. Pat Bev, he's the reason we won that game.
Yeah, for sure.
He's
At
the
the end,
reason we're
when
even in this situation this season.
again when Jade McDaniels had that foul trouble too, and I believe the third and fourth quarter, I think the fourth quarter especially, Pat Bev was on Paul George like 3 straight possessions, made him miss every single shot or pass out. Pat Bev played perfect defense on Paul George. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
what more do you want from him?
I don't know how we underestimated it that this was going to be like such a huge game for Pat Bev, like emotionally. We didn't even really like, I guess no one really brought it up about
No,
Pat Bev, how
I
they didn't pick up his team, like they didn't re-sign him last year, like all that. Like that's huge.
he was yelling at Steve Ballmer, like telling him he should have paid me, yelling at his teammates. It was something, and that kind of leads us into, first of all, like awesome eruption when we won. Like it was like it was emotional. That was like Minnesota basketball. Like people who don't, Minnesota is a huge basketball hotbed. Like it
Yeah.
is a basketball state, and like that was the first time in years that it felt that good to be a Timberwolves fan. Like it
Well,
was an emotional experience.
we did it the right way. That's I think when Jimmy Butler was here, like we made it, but we didn't do it the right way. We took the easy way out. We got Jimmy Butler, and it just didn't feel real. This like
Homegrown, man.
homegrown,
Real.
right way, emotional, great coach, great team. Like the emotions that were shown and the celebration, that's about as real as it gets. Like,
And like this kind of brings us into the point. Like this is the it sucks that this was more so talked about than the actual winning of the, like we beat the odds. We beat the odds and beat a really experienced Clippers team that's been to the Western Conference Finals. Like we won that game, and that wasn't even the storyline. It was the storyline was we celebrated like game 7 of the finals. And like it's when you're in the moment, like I know when I was in the moment there, like
it felt like
I
we
was
won game 7 of the
blown
finals.
away. It was emotional, man. The Timberwolves don't have much to celebrate, and like I could care less, honestly, if Pat Bev and Ant hopped on the scorer's table. Like it was like it. Maybe looking back, like, hey man, probably didn't need to hop on the scorer's table, but like it's emotional, man. Pat Bev said he was going to make the playoffs, and no one believed, guys. No one believed us. No one believed us, especially too. Like they made the 7th seed. They finished 10 games above 500. I mean, the man can cry a little bit. I'm okay with that.
No, my favorite I loved the JJ Redick. I loved
I was gonna bring
his
that up.
rant. And like it's the people who have never really been in that situation, that have never really played in the NBA, are the ones that are hating on it. You see all the players, like all the segments I watched on it, like the guys who have played in the guys
We're
who
all fine with it.
they're all like, yeah, I get it. Like maybe a little excessive, but like it's great to see that. Like you want the players to care.
Emotions.
Like you can't get mad at players for not caring. Like everyone's like, oh, LeBron, like he gave up on his team, like he doesn't care, he's faking injuries. You can't get mad at that and then also get mad when someone cares so much about something where they're gonna start crying. Like, I don't know, like don't you want that? Like, don't you want people to care? Like that's good for the league.
I think even the bigger thing too, it's like it's beyond sports, man. Like that, if you can't celebrate the little things in life like that, like how are you going about life? Like if you're not allowed to celebrate like that is a monumental basketball moment in Timberwolves history. Like I'm gonna be honest, that was the biggest game ever played in Timberwolves basketball history in the last 20 years. Like forget the Western Conference Finals in 2004. Like we talk about it so much. For this generation, this was the biggest game ever. And I'm so happy we got to go to it. Like, so happy we got to experience we got all the emotions, all the feelings of being nervous, the feelings of being down, the feelings of being high. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Like
amazing. And that was part of the celebration. If we would have like whooped their butts by 20,
not a
I think they
chance.
would have, but we overcame Cat being fouled out, down by 10. D'Lo raining in threes, Ant dunking. Like it was emotional. It was a roller coaster.
Yeah, I hate the antics. Like, I think it's funny. Like, it's funny. It's something you can make fun of, like how Shaq and like they were kind of making fun of, like, oh, like we don't need to show up next week because that, like, it looks like we were celebrating the finals, and if you're not like in tune with the fan base and the Timberwolves, like, sure, you can make fun of it a little bit, like it's funny, but the people that were like generally getting mad about it, that's where like
Makes no sense.
yeah, no, that's where I'm like, all right, like Keyshawn, you know who that is? I don't know his last name.
Keyshawn Johnson, right?
Yeah, he had the stupidest take. He's like, yeah, I don't. Patrick Beverly rubs me the wrong way. That's why I don't like this celebration. Or it was just so stupid. Like he was just hating, like, because that's his job. I don't know, but
Dude,
yeah,
I just like to all the Pat Bev haters out there. I get it, man, but like,
yeah. Once you have him on your team, dude,
he is a culture changer. Like there was an Athletic article that came out. We were like 6 games into the season. We were like 2-4 when we should have been like 6-0. He got everyone in the locker room and said, This is not going to be the way. This is not going to be the way it is. Like that we are going to start winning. And
they did.
I mean, man, like everyone, like I don't get it, man. I think that's a bigger reflection on yourself if you find a way to hate on someone else being happy like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to bring up one cool thing I thought is we always look at Anthony Edwards. He's a young player. When you're a young player, 20 years old, you're easily formable. You know what I mean? Like it's really important who your role models are and who you're looking up to. I thought it was so showing of that when Pat Bev jumped up on the scorer's table and Ant looks over and sees him jumping up and just follows him right up there. Like it was just such a funny thing, like monkey see, monkey do. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I get why Pat Bev jumped up there, but like why the hell was Anthony Edwards up there? So, but like that's a good thing because like we want him to play like Pat Bev. We want him to have that grit to him. So, but I just thought that was the funniest thing. I remember seeing. I'm like, why is Anthony Edwards going up there?
No, yeah, it was funny. Like they were like both in the press conference room when Finch was doing his interview too. Pat Bev, they did a dual interview like,
with the
Bev
Bud
drinking
Light.
a Bud Light, like. Come on now. Like I know, and I think it's awesome to find some humor in the celebration and some humor in Pat Bev. Like that's cool.
He's
but
funny.
Like the people generally hating on the set, like
that's when you have a problem. That's when you for sure have a problem.
I'm okay with them laugh. Like I don't care. That's fine.
No,
it is kind of funny.
Like Stephen A. Smith's, I thought that was the funniest shit. Like his reaction, he didn't see like that was funny. But, like it's funny. Like you can't be mad at everyone who was saying stuff about it, but I don't
know. Pat Bev talking shit to the Clippers owner and to his former teammates, just yelling at him on the bench. Like that's hilarious.
No, who does that shit? Like who does that? That? Like that's so like imagine like in any other job, like if you got fired or let go and then you're at your new job and you're just yelling at your owner or the guy that like this is like such
Steve Ballmer's not a no one. He is a founder of he is a 50 he's more.
No,
he's
I didn't say no one. I said
man.
owner. I said owner, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like Steve Ballmer is like a rich man. He is one of the founders of Microsoft. And Pat Bev is screaming at this guy on the court. It is hilarious.
Yeah, and dude, you know what the most powerful moment of the game I thought was? Pat Bev like got a steal out of bounds or something, and he was on the ground, and they picked him up, and he just goes like this right when he stands up
in Reggie's face,
and everyone just like. It would like, dude, that shit got me high. Like even way up where we were sitting, like that was amazing.
I guess the main points to take away. Don't worry so much about Cat. D'Lo and Ann are awesome. Pat Bev's awesome, and F everyone who's mad at the celebration.
Shout out to JJ Redick.
Shout out to JJ Redick. But looking forward, we'll do a little preview. I know I got to get to class. Peyton's
yeah. We got carried away there, but why not? Like I said, like this is like just enjoy this moment, like. Because you don't know what's going to happen next series. Exactly what we'll get into. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, obviously, we can be optimistic, but there's a decent chance that this is going to be the high of the season. And, like, why not just bask in it and enjoy it and maybe talk for 30 minutes about that one game? Because that's just how great of an experience it was.
It's not a celebration of an ending. It's a celebration of a beginning. I don't know which commentator said that, but I love that.
Sure.
Like celebrating what's about to happen.
And it might not be this year. And that's a cool thing. It's the beginning of something, but it might not be this year that we make a run, but it's the beginning of the franchise turning around and us being a cornerstone in the Western Conference. And this is not like when the Jimmy Butler thing happened, it was a one-time thing. This is not a one-time thing. We have the foundation. We built it up from the floor. and we're going in the right direction. So even if it doesn't work out this year, I think we have so much to be happy about. But let's get right into the Grizzlies game. It was pivotal that we won that game so we could match up with the Grizzlies because it's such a good match for us. What are we, 3-1 on the season with that against them?
2-2 with them.
2-2.
2-2, but one of those wins was the Cat buzzer beater when we went into overtime, when we lost to them. So I mean, we play the Grizzlies hard, and this dates back to last year. Like me and you always used to talk about like these guys play the Grizzlies. Like we just want to beat the Grizzlies every single time they play them. Like the Grizzlies are just that one team. Like
Dylan Brooks, man, he's 8-1 against the Timberwolves.
I mean, yeah, he kind of owns us right now. Like
he does.
But I think it changed this year. Like we started playing hard against the Grizzlies. Like this team knows that they're on a similar track as the Grizzlies. They're a similar team, and like there is some good matchups. Like I think Pat Bev can give Ja some problems. You got experience versus a guy who's got wiped in the playoffs last year by the Jazz. Like this is going to be Ja's first like real test of having to lead a team that has expectations. Like this Grizzlies team has expectations. I think Pat will do a good job on Ja. Obviously, he's going to get his, but I think one X factor player that is really good, like Desmond Bane, does not get enough credit, man. That
he's
guy
insane.
Is a flamethrower at the 3-point line. Both me and you wanted him in that draft too. That would have been a great pick instead of Balmero. But besides the fact, Bane's great. Bane's gonna hit some threes on you. Triple J is one of the most disrespected players, I'd have to say, right? Like, would you say that? He's
great. Dude, they're like, this is like one of the best teams in the league. They were top of the power rankings most of the season. They're a great team. And we're just saying the matchup is good because we match up really well against the Grizzlies. They're young and inexperienced. Like, this is just the perfect storm for the Timberwolves if we are going to make this upset as the 7 versus 2 seed. Like, this is what we want. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like, we are in the best position right now.
I think again, like we said it this last game, Malik Beasley is going to be an X factor. This bench is going to be so important, and they were so important last game. Like we said, that bench needed to play good, obviously, and it did. And like Malik and Nas are going to have to be leaders. Same with Jalen. I mean, Jalen. I didn't think Jalen was going to play.
No, McLaughlin didn't play either. I didn't even realize that.
I think that was more so a matchup thing.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I think the Clippers were so damn tall. Like there was no way McLaughlin was going to be able to play. But this series, I think against Tyus, I think you'll see him play more than Jalen Noel.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's interesting about this is that he might not have played in that 1-game series, but when you have hopefully a 7-game series, you're going to have to rely on your bench a little bit more because D'Lo can't play 37 minutes every single game. Like you're going to have to rely on the bench a little bit, and we have a really strong bench. So hopefully Taurean Prince comes back. I don't know, man. I feel really good about this series. I really do.
So playoff tickets just went on sale today too. It's Thursday the 14th, and we were like, damn, we really want to go to a playoff game. So Peyton got us game 6 tickets, and I think we can win 2 games. I think we can push it to 6. I think that's not out of the realm.
I think so. And the way I saw it, it's an investment, and it's also like, it's almost like when you pick your favorite team to win in the NCAA tournament to like go to the Final Four or whatever, like, it's probably not likely, but like you want to be rooting for that. So I'm like, shit, like we've got the tickets. Like now we have every more reason to root.
There's no way this team gets swept. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Like kill me if in 2 weeks we get swept. I don't care. We're not going to get swept. We're not going to get 4-0'd by the Grizzlies. We're going to get 1 game. And I think we can get a second one to push to 6.
I think so too. I think we might win one in Memphis. That's my bold prediction. I think we'll win game 2 or game 1. I think maybe, you know what? This is my prediction. I think we win game 1. I think we have so much momentum right now. I think we go into Memphis, win game 1, lose game 2.
They sat their starters the last game of the season too. So they're going to, by the time it's Saturday, I think they haven't played in a week. So, I'm not saying they're going to be rusty, but I'm just saying the team that's more likely to be rusty is the team that has not played.
And the team that more likely is going to have energy is the team that just got off one of the biggest wins in franchise history.
Scorers table, yeah.
Like this is like, you got to feel so good about this if you're a Timberwolves fan. I'm serious. Like I keep saying that, but I don't know. I feel really good. And then, looking at the rest of the playoffs, this is going to be the best team we play for a little bit. Then we get to play either the Warriors or the
Nuggets.
Nuggets. So like, I don't know.
I think the Warriors are probably gonna win. You know the
No, man, you
I
got
don't
the
know. I don't know.
MVP, 2-time MVP.
yeah, it's gonna be playoffs are gonna be a challenge. Like with the Timberwolves aren't a complete roster. Obviously, they haven't been to the playoffs before, but like if there is a team that I would want it to go against, it would have been an inexperienced Grizzlies team. Like I would not have wanted to play the Warriors. I would have not wanted to play the Suns. I would have not wanted to play the Mavericks. Like this is the team you want to play.
Yeah, it's our best matchup. It
It's the
really
best
is.
matchup.
It really
we
is.
see them four times a year. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if we're just as deep as them, but I think we have more star power. I really do. I think we have more guys that can be the it factor in a game.
I mean, you look at Karl Anthony Towns. He was so quiet last game, but
We
What
beat
we've-
the Clippers without Cat.
that's what I'm saying. And what we talk about Karl Anthony Towns is that he's always so consistent. Like you can't tell me that just because he had a bad game last game, he's gonna have a bad game he's gonna play bad the rest of the playoffs. He's gonna be very consistent the rest of the playoffs. He always is. So we're gonna get 30 from Cat, Ant or D'Lo. One of them's gonna step up, and then it just is the rest of the bench. So I think we got a pretty good chance, man.
I think so too. I'm excited. I'm excited for everything upcoming with the Wolves. This is what we've been working for 2 years now. It's finally paying off. We finally get to cover some playoff basketball, so it's great. I'm excited.
All right, we're gonna do the Wheel of Fortune here.
All right, yeah, we have so there's two scores. Oh, that was kind of a voice crack. Two scores that were very similar, I think. So yeah, they for the t-shirt giveaway. Got to spin the wheel right now.
Yeah, we're going on the Wheel of Fortune. This is huge. Like this is live. It's between Iceman Gervin,
And Andrew Kanoki.
Andrew Kanaki. I don't know what. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
What the hell is this? What the?
Look up wheel decide.
Yeah, I don't know
Wheel
what
Decide's
that
the
was.
best one.
So we'll decide this right here. Whoever gets a free shirt.
There you go.
Wheel of Names.
No, just look at that's
This
fine.
works.
That works.
This
Too.
works.
That works.
Andrew.
Peyton's got to work out his typing here.
Kanoki. Is that how you spell it? And then
That works.
Iceman like Gerwin.
Gervin, I think. Yeah.
Gervin. So I think we got to do best 2 out of 3, right?
No, I think we just give one spin.
All right. So it's a click to spin. You click it and it's the winner.
Yeah. All right.
Here you go.
Good luck. Here we go. Wheel's spinning. The wheel is spinning, and Andrew Kanoki is going to be the winner of the t-shirt giveaway. Congrats, Andrew. We will reach out to you. I think he follows us on Instagram too.
I think so. Yeah. He commented. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see him around the channel
No.
often, but hopefully he gets to pick out a shirt. We'll send it your way, Andrew. Everyone just keep enjoying this. This doesn't last forever. And let's hope we pull it out here with the Grizzlies. Chris, have a good rest of your day, man. And nice to see you guys.